There could be more trouble brewing in Ireland after Irish Eurosceptics called for Ireland to exit the EU under an IRA exit. This time, Ireland has come under direct threat from the EU because of new hate speech laws. The EU has given Ireland a period of 2 months to implement new hate speech laws or face legal action, as the European Commission has warned that Ireland has failed to comply with laws around race-based violence and hate. The EU has ordered Ireland to expand the definition of hate speech, which must now include the denial or the trivialisation of certain international crimes, such as the Holocaust. These new laws, mandated by Brussels, go far beyond Irish laws, which are already very strict, and will bring Ireland into line with EU mandates, under the prohibition of the Incitement to Hatred Act of 1989. However, there doesn't seem to be the appetite for these new laws in Ireland, as in September, the Irish government were unsuccessful in passing a new law against incitement to violence or hatred and hate offences, as the public were having none of it. But the dictatorial EU is now telling Ireland to pass these laws, or they will take Ireland to court if it does not comply. Many people feel that Brussels is riding roughshod over Ireland and the implementing of its own laws, and that this is a direct attack on the sovereignty of Ireland and the will of the people. Ireland wishes to be self-determinant in its own laws, and not to have the EU overrule and override any decisions made by the will of the people, fearing that political opinion and mere unpopular views could now become entwined in this new hate speech law. This is being debated over social media, and the warnings are loud and clear that the people will be forced into silence for fear of prosecution. But is this not exactly what the EU and all totalitarian organisations like it ultimately want? They want us to do as they say and have no form or recourse or admonishment against them. Ultimately, this is a nail in the coffin against the right of free expression and national sovereignty. Who decides Irish law? Dublin or Brussels? The UK decided to leave the draconian EU over this very question via Brexit. These new laws imposed by Brussels could be used to silence legitimate political criticisms, and who decides what is legitimate? This shines a light on the power-hungry control freaks we have sitting in Brussels, who are targeting the laws of individual countries, and this could set a precedent and the standard for what control the EU has over national laws. If this is forced through in Ireland and becomes law, then what is to stop the EU from doing this across the Union? The next 2 months will be extremely interesting, because if Ireland refuses to play ball with the EU, then Brussels will drag them to the European Courts of Justice. This is a real test to see how free speech is upheld or not across Ireland, and will be viewed by many other countries across the EU to see if Ireland does hold its ground and fights back and wins its case as a precursor to what they too may do if push comes to shove with the EU. There is already a downward trend in the relationship between Ireland and the EU, and it seems the EU is doing everything it can to make sure it gets worse.